Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on your favorite Little Law YouTube channel. So, today in this video, we are going to see what is a stored procedure and how efficiently we can use the stored procedure to improve the database performance. Because we all know in the interviews, the questioner might ask us a question that how will you improve the performance of the application using the database query if you are facing any issues in terms of any slowest response or there is a query that is taking too much of time. So we might be telling him that we are going to use indexes. He might not be satisfied. Then we will be telling about the refactoring of the query. He might not be satisfied. Then this is another opportunity for you to show your expertise in database. So this today we are going to discuss about the stored procedure. So you're going to tell about the stored procedure. So how you're going to use the stored procedure and you're going to give an example to him. So this will in fact tell or this will in fact showcase your efficiency in terms of handling the database query efficiently so that you can use the stored procedure to improve the performance. So before we move on to see what is a stored procedure and what are the benefits, and I will show you again a real-time example as well. So before we move on to this video, this is me, Vasan Shanmugam. I welcome you all to our Little Sly YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Give a like, give a thumbs up, and share the video with your friends and give your comments and feedback in the comment section. And if you have any questions to discuss, please do add that in the comment section, or you can even add that in our WhatsApp channel as well. And in fact, I have a separate Excel sheet for that. So you can even add that question there. It'll be very helpful for me to discuss, and then we can take it to all our subscribers. So now, with no further delay, let's go to the first benefit. So before we move on to see what's the benefit, let me tell you a quick example of what is a stored procedure. So a stored procedure is a group of SQL statements that are compiled and stored in the database. So these stored procedures allow you to encapsulate and reuse SQL code, which will make your database interactions more efficient and easier to manage. So that is the quick introduction about the stored procedure, and moving on to the benefit. So the first benefit of the stored procedure is the pre-compilation and execution plan reuse. So when a stored procedure is created, the SQL statements are compiled and an execution plan is generated. This means the database does not have to compile and optimize the query every time it's run. So this pre-compilation again reduces the time required to execute the queries because the database can reuse the existing execution plan. So that is another benefit of using stored procedure. So now moving on to the second benefit. So the second benefit is reducing the network traffic. So instead of sending multiple SQL statements back and forth across the network, the client only needs to send a single call to execute a stored procedure. And this reduces the amount of data that's been transferred between the client and server, especially for very complex queries. So that's the second benefit of using the stored procedure. And moving on to the third one. The third one is encapsulation and reusability. So stored procedures allow us to encapsulate the business logic at the database level, and this ensures consistency and reusability across different applications and users. So that's the benefit of encapsulating the business logic. And when it comes to reusability, we can make changes to the logic which is required to be made in one place rather than in every application that uses the query. So instead of making changes at every place where the query is used, we can just make one change which is in the stored procedure, and that will reflect in all the places wherever it is called. So that is the way it can be reused. So we saw about the encapsulation, which is encapsulating the business logic, and when it comes to the reusability, the changes that we make. So instead of making, if we are using a particular query in like 100 different places, so instead of making changes in every time in all those places, instead we can just make the changes to the stored procedure, and that will automatically reflect whenever we call the query. And moving on to the fourth one, the fourth benefit. So the fourth benefit is improved security. So the stored procedures can help enforce security policies by restricting direct access to the underlying tables. So users can grant permission to execute the stored procedure without having direct access to the data. And also, the input parameters can be validated within the stored procedure to prevent SQL injection attacks. So that's the uh, most focused benefit in terms of the security. So you can even tell this point during an interview as well. So now moving on to the last benefit, which is the easier maintenance. So by encapsulating the SQL code in stored procedure, changes can be made in a centralized manner, which makes the maintenance of the database logic easier and more manageable. So that is the last and the final advantage of using the stored procedure. So overall, a quick summary on the stored procedure. The stored procedures offer several benefits that contribute to performance improvement, including pre-compilation, reduced network traffic, encapsulation, and enhanced security. So by refactoring the complex queries into stored procedures, we can achieve more efficient and maintainable database operations. So that's the conclusion about or a quick summary about the stored procedures. So now I'll take you through an example like we did for the last 2 days. So this will be more beneficial for you and you can learn a lot. And please make sure you have lots and lots of options in your interview to answer. So please do watch all the videos and try to subscribe to all the videos that we have. And yep, let me go to the example now. Yeah, so welcome back. So now we will see how to use this store procedure. So before that, I'm going to have a complex query that involves multiple joins and filtering criteria. And then we are going to refactor it into a stored procedure for performance improvement. So the scenario here is we want to find, okay, let me just copy the query which I have. So this is the original query and where we are going to find the details of customers who have rented films from the comedy category. So here you can see the category name is comedy and which includes the address details, the city, the country, um, the film they rented, and the staff members who processed the rental. So we will also include the customer's first name, their last name, their email address, city, country, film, title, and staff members' first name and last name. So this will in fact fetch a lot of uh, data from the database, and this in fact will increase the response time. So that is our expectation. And then the next step is we are going to create a stored procedure, and then we're going to call the store procedure. So firstly, let's run this query. And for now, I'm going to change this name to JDBC request. So I'm going to just name it as the original query. And then I will save it and let me run this. So let me before that, let me just check. Oh, yeah, everything is good. So I'm going to just run this query. So this, in fact, is using join uh, to connect multiple tables, and then we are going to again we do have a subquery as well. So now we will run this query once. Okay, for some reason there is some failure. Let me just fix it. Yep, so I made some changes to the query, and let me just paste the new one. So this is the actual query, and let's run this query again. So this is going to be the original query, and let's go to the view results tree. Yep, so now the query has been executed and we are able to see the results. And when we see the average response time, it is around like 54 seconds. And now we will use the stored procedure. So now we'll move on to the database and let's create the procedure. So for that, let me first connect to the database. And then, so just to make sure we do not have that stored procedure already, I'm going to drop if there is anything. So let me run this. So now, yeah, so now there are no stored procedures. So let's now create the stored procedure here. And for that, I'm going to use, yep. So now I have the stored procedure and let me create it. Yep. So now the stored procedure has been created. And now what we'll do is let's go back to our JMeter and we are going to call just the stored procedure, right? So for that, let me just change this to stored procedure. And then let me paste this. So we are just going to call only the stored procedure and nothing else. So we have the summary report with the results. And now, so since we already have that value, so let me run this one and coming to the summary report. So here you can see previously it is around, I mean, the original query is around 54 seconds, and now it has completely come down to 40 milliseconds. So this is how it improves the performance. This is one of the examples. So you can actually add this point as well in your interview. So you can tell them that, see, I'm going to create a store procedure and we're just going to give just a call. So if you see here, the sent bytes is almost zero and the received byte is still higher than what we received for the original query, but still the response is very less when compared to the previous one, which is the original query. See, you can see the average bytes is almost the same, but the received bytes is little bit higher, but still the response times is very less when compared to the original query. So this is some other way to improve the performance. So because if you are improving the performance in terms of your database, in terms of your query, automatically this will reflect in your application, and in turn it will reduce the response time and it will improve the overall performance. So these are some of the ways you can improve the performance. And yeah, let me again reiterate it. So you can use indexing, which we already saw. And in fact, I have to take you through the example of single indexing, multiple indexing. I'll just take you through that sometime this week or next week. And the next thing is the refactoring of code, which is you have to remove unwanted joins, or you have to efficiently use the joins. You have to remove the subqueries. So these factors will improve the performance of your databases. And now today we saw about the store procedure, where we're going to create a store procedure with the queries, and then we are going to just send the call, and that will get all the values that we need, and in fact in turn it will improve the performance. So with that, I come to an end, and I believe this video would be very, very useful to you. So until I meet you in another interesting video, it's bye bye from Asan Shanmugam and your favorite Little Sly YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and join the WhatsApp channel, and please do consider taking the subscription, the join membership. It's just 29 rupees, Indian rupees, which is less than a coffee price. So please do consider taking it, and it's less than £1 if you are subscribing from UK, and it's less than $1 if you're subscribing from US. So please do consider subscribing to our channel, just joining. So this will help me to create more quality content, and you'll get earlier access to all the videos, and you can chat with me for any personalized any support. So until I meet you in our next video, it's again a bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and Little Sla.